The top 50 ratings of players in FC26 have been leaked. They have been announced. I have seen them all over the place on Twitter and stuff, and it's very interesting. There are some players in there that I maybe didn't expect to see quite as high, some players that I maybe didn't expect to see quite as low, but there's some very, very interesting players nonetheless. Now, of course, credit goes to the people that find these and the people that have posted them up there, and the graphic and the design that I'm going to use today to show you guys, I found on Foot Sheriff's Twitter, and on the design itself, it does shout out Exo FIFA and Radar FC. They are the people that have either found or made or whatever it might be. So shout out to them, because this is from them. Sheriff, Exo, and Radar. But without further ado, we are going to have a look at these players, have a look at these ratings. I'll give you guys my thoughts, and I'll let you know what I think in regards to the ratings we see. So here they are, the top 50. Feel free to pause it and have a quick gander through now if you so wish. Obviously, men's and women's cards combined into a total top 50. And yeah, some really interesting ones here. The top 50 are all from 91 to 87. Now, it's worth saying there will be plenty of other players that are also 87 rated. It's just, I imagine I don't know whether it will be the in-games or whatever it might be. These are just the highest rated to fill out the 50. Or it might be like, you know, as you go through and look through like concept, if you were to gold filter concept, these are the first 50 that show up, that sort of vibe. But we'll start at the top looking at the first four. Salah, Putellas, Mbappe, and Bonmati, the four highest rated cards in the game as base golds. Four players who are pretty phenomenal. I keep up with women's football a bit. I watch like the European stuff and the World Cup, and I watch a bit of the women's Prem. But Putellas, Bonmati, it's quite well documented just how good they are with the trio of them and Patry in that like midfield for both Barca and for Spain. It's very well documented just how good both of them are. I'm sure they're both going to be disgustingly good at the start of the game. I'd be very surprised if not. And then you've got Salah, whose card looks pretty insane, and Mbappe's card looks disgusting. 97 pace out the gate is disgustingly good. 90 shooting, 90 dribbling, amazing. Gotta be said, phenomenal. All four of those cards are going to be so good to use at the start of the year. And then we've got quite a few 90 rated cards. We've got Van Dijk, Graham Hansen, Dembele, Rodri, Haaland, and Bellingham. Now, I'm not going to go into individuals about every single card, because that'll be like the longest video that you've ever seen in your life. Van Dijk's card, again, looks pretty solid. I imagine will be the best centre-back in the game for the start of the game, unless there's any like lower-rated cheap beast sort of vibe. But I imagine Van Dijk, again, will be so good this year. I'd be very surprised to not see him be very, very good. And he is the only defender that is 90 or above. There are no other defenders that's base gold card is 90 or above in any defensive like position. The next like most defensive player will be Rodri as a CDM. But literally outside of that, it's kind of crazy to me. Graham looks pretty decent. Dembele looks very good. I think his pace has gone down, if memory serves. I can't remember. I feel like he's got like 92, 93. I might be wrong. But very deserving of a 90 card. Phenomenal year for him. Shooting at 88, which is great as well, and some really nice dribbling. Rodri, 65 pace, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's really slow. Start the game, it doesn't matter. I've been using the base gold Rodri in this, what's it called? The Gritty Cup thing. And he's got like 4 pace. So he's more than good enough. I will say it's a pretty atrocious looking 90 card. The highest face value stat being 86. No thanks. Haaland, interesting that he doesn't have acrobatics anymore. He now has the low driven, which I think will massively improve his card. I think acrobatics is a pretty awful playstyle if you ask me. And yeah, I think he's going to be so good. He's going to be physical. He's going to be a pain in the backside to deal with. Going to be a great card. Jude, again, looks decent without looking amazing at face value. I'm hoping him and Rodri, the fact that like neither of them have like crazy good face value stats, that they play well anyway, because obviously Jude's got 90 dribbling, but like again nothing else then is above 86, so it's a little bit like not amazing. Going into the 89s, there are a lot of them. We have got Courtois, Kane, Kimmich, Alisson, Donnarumma, Rafinha, Hakimi, Mappy-Leon, Mariona, Patry, Vinny, Valverde, Shaw, Pedri, Vitinha, Wirtz, Russo, Yamal. Mental. Lots of options, lots of players. Again, I'm only going to touch on a few. Courtois and Donnarumma and Alisson, I'm going to predict being some of the best keepers in the game just because they're nice and high rated. I'd be surprised if they're not pretty good. Just based on what we tend to see each year, my guess is Courtois is going to be the best gold keeper in the game at the start of the game. I just feel like he's always good, especially at the start of the game personally. So that's an early prediction. I am baffled that Kane's got a -1. He scored stupid amounts of goals last year. How has he gone down? I don't get it. But him and Kimmich, Bayern teammates. Kimmich's card as an out-and-out DM doesn't look too bad. The defensive physicality is a little bit low, but the passing and dribbling, you're looking at like a deep line playmaker. But it's the kind of thing that I'm like, a chem style makes him look 89 rated. He doesn't look phenomenal out the gate. Rafinha looks decent. He looks quick. And again, you're kind of looking at a chem style to really boost the card, to have the stats match the rating. This is something I'm noticing with quite a few of the cards. The stats don't seem to match the rating. Like, for example, I didn't really mention it at the time, but Salah has not got a single stat above 90, which is slightly surprising if you ask me. Like Van Dijk, he has 90 defending, and then everything else is, like, I think 80. What was it? 87 physicality, and then 70s and a 60. Like, it's noticeable that the ratings are considerably higher than the stats this year, which is interesting. I don't think it's good news, but anyway, I digress. Hakimi, phenomenal looking card, the fact that he's 89, and then again you look at the stats, 92 pace, great. His next highest stat is 83 dribbling. I'm not overly convinced that's going to be great. Am I overthinking it? Maybe, but I don't think it leads to great news, if you ask me. I think the next card that's interesting to look at, it would be Patry, sort of finishing off that trio of Barcelona midfielders. Again, stats look okay, nothing mental. Vinny, 91 dribbling, 95 pace, two very, very high stats. And then again, like a dead-eye chem star to just tick those final ones. Valverde, always really good at the start of the game. Really high rated to get an 89 this year. Obviously a little cheeky boost on his card last year. But again, 88 pace and then nothing above an 85. Just baffles me a little bit. But hey, this is why I don't, I guess, make the cards. Pedri looks a little bit meh apart from dribbling. Looks a little bit nothing crazy to be desired. 4 of those face stats being in the 70s. Not huge on that one. Vitinha looks good as a ball carrying player, good passing, good dribbling. Versus card looks again decent, nice passing, nice dribbling. Pace isn't too bad. Shooting's a touch low. That's kind of really got a Hunter card screaming at it to be decent. And then Yamal, who now is the highest rated teenage card to ever exist in Ultimate Team. Messi and Ronaldo, I think, had higher ratings in the games before Foot while they were teenagers, but Foot didn't exist. So I'm fairly sure somebody in my stream earlier told me that Yamal is the highest rated teenager in Foot history. Fair play. He's been pretty phenomenal. I ain't going to deny it. Great dribbling, decent pace, decent passing. Shooting, I'd have guessed his shooting to be a touch higher based on some of the goals and things we have seen. I'd have guessed it to be nearer the 83, 84 mark, but card looks decent. Nice stuff. Up next, we have the 88s, of which we have Lewandowski, Oblak, Dabinia, Paredes, Reitan, Diani, Martinez, Gabriel, Isaac, Pajor, Endless, Katoto, Saka, Musiala, and Wilson. Interesting. A couple of interesting choices here. I like Lewandowski, but like, for example, Lewandowski's card as an 88, I think looks better than some of the 89s. Pace is a touch low. Passing's nothing crazy to be desired, but he's got 89 shooting, 85 dribbling, not bad, 84 physicality, not too bad. I'm a bit confused with some of the ratings with the comparison to stats. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't really watch the Women's American League particularly, so I can't comment much on how reflective Dabinia's card is of her. But again, not too shabby, decent pace, passing's good, dribbling's really good. Looking at Reitan, I think Reitan's card looks quite nice actually. 88 rated with 88 pace, 87 dribbling, 85 passing, 82 shooting. Again, I'd argue maybe a little bit lower than an 88 card kind of looks. I think it kind of looks like an 87 stats, but overall, ignoring like the overall rating, the card itself looks decent. Same to be said for me for Diani. Really nice pace, good shooting, decent passing, good dribbling. I would say that those two, it's kind of like you've sort of swapped the passing and shooting stats a bit, and Diani's a little bit quicker. Those cards are pretty similar, and she's actually quite a bit more physical. Hadn't paid attention to the physical stat there. Diani looks good little card there. I can't see I'm not sure what team's badge that is. I don't know if that's me being daft. Am I right in thinking that Katoto moved, right? Did Katoto go to Marseille? Is that maybe Marseille's badge? I'm not too sure. Either way, nice card there. Martinez looks decent. The passing's a little bit low, but outside of that, it's a good-looking card. Gabriel, a touch slow, but it's the start of the game. Who cares? Nice card. 88 defense, 84 physicality is a touch low. Again, it doesn't really scream 88 rated centre-back at me, but it looks okay. Isak, his card at the start of this year was phenomenal, 85 rating, and was so good at the start of the game. This card looks like it's going to be very similarly good at the start of the game, but more expensive. Even though he was quite spenny as an 85, he's going to be pretty spenny, I think, as an 88. And if he gets that Liverpool move, I think there will be some people adding price to it because of the Liverpool links he's then going to get. We've seen a good handful of Liverpool players already on this list. So, yeah, he'll get some decent links because of that. But nice shooting stat, decent dribbling, good pace. Obviously, he's quite tall as well, and has the finesse plus, which if finesse is anything like it was in 25, he's going to be pretty decent. I mentioned Katoto briefly a minute ago. Again, decent looking card there. Good shooting, but the passing is maybe a touch low, but the dribbling and pace, both not bad. And again, that perfect link to Diani if they are both at Marseille. Very nice indeed. I think Saka's card looks okay as well. 88 dribbling, not too bad. It's it's almost identical to Reitan's in a lot of similarities. Same shooting, similar dribbling, same defense. Same passing actually as well, similar pace, similar physicality, very similar looking cards, so it'll be interesting to see if there is similarity in how they play as well. And the last one, Musiala, I think looks again decent, kind of needs a chem star depending on if you want better passing or shooting, Hunter or Catalyst, and I think it boosts it nicely. But the last couple of cards here, we have got Jonathan Tah, Guirassy, Sommer, De Bruyne and Marquinhos. Now, as I said, there will be other 87s. For me, players that will, for sure, if they're not on this list, have got to be at least 87s in my opinion. You've got players like Saliba, I think he'll for sure be there. Like McTominay had a phenomenal year. I'd be surprised if he's not there. Again, for me personally, I think Cole Palmer, 87, I think is kind of justified. Let me know in the comments other cards you think that aren't on this page, therefore should still be an 87. I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. There's a few players that sort of jump to mind, but yeah, I think that they'll be on that list, in my humble opinion. But looking at the ones we have in front of us, Jonathan Tah, for me, shows a better example of a centre-back whose stats reflect his rating. You've got 87 defence and then 86 physicality. For me, that reflects an 87 rated centre-back in comparison to Gabriel's, who I don't think does reflect an 88. You've got Guirassy, a bit slow, passings okay, but good shooting, decent dribbling, good physicality. I'm on board with that. Plus finesse, I'm on board with that too. And then De Bruyne, obviously that bit slower, but for me, this is a really nice card. 83 shooting on a centre mid, lovely. 84 dribbling on a centre mid, really nice too. 92 passing, obviously perfection. A touch slow, defence is a little bit low, physicality's okay. Again, this kind of screams for like an anchor, boost the pace, defence and physicality. For me personally, then you're looking at a decent card. You need to pair him with a DM, really, in all honesty. And then Marquinhos looks nice. A bit of a weird split with 89 defense and then 80 physicality. Bit of a weird one, but 89 defense for an 87 player is not too bad. And maybe the physicality, there's something specific in there that's dragging the rating down a little bit. Is maybe my thought on that one. Same could maybe be said for Gabriel to justify why that's a bit lower. But 78 pace on a centre-back is very good for the start of the game for sure. Good passing and decent dribbling as well for a centre-back. But that is the 50. That is sort of me briefly touching on most of the cards there. I'm not going to go crazy in depth on every single one, but sort of looking at a couple of highlights and a couple of players for me that look decent. A lot of these I do agree with the sort of rough placements of. Again, for me, a weird one being Kane getting a -1. I get Rodri only losing 1 and missing half the season. He did also win the Ballon d'Or, so it's kind of like, I kind of get it. And again, there's a few players that I maybe would have thought would have been in and around being high 87s or potentially pushing that 88 mark. Again, for me, a player like Saliba had a very good year. I think he's maybe going to be an 87. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below players that you think either have missed out on being basically 88 or above to make the top 50, or players that you think are 87 rated and are just not on this small part of the 87s that we see being in the top 50. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, please do leave a like on it. Supports me, the video, the channel, and everything out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. Check out the link in the description for all my other content and all the other places I upload things. But for now, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care.